Come gather around people wherever you roam. That for the changing. That's a Bob Dylan song. I quite like Bob Dylan. Great songwriter, if you ask me. Maybe the best songwriter of all time. I was just sitting here the other day and just put on a Bob Dylan album on Spotify and just let it run. And like, as I was doing the work I was doing, I was taken aback. Like, God, man, this guy is poetic. You know, it's like if Emily Dickinson and some other poet, Walt Whitman, had a baby, and they're like, you have to sing all our greatest hits, but come up with new poems to sing them. That would be Bob Dylan. Um, but yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Bob Dylan lately, and I wonder if there'll ever be another songwriter as good as Bob Dylan. Um, Not necessarily that the songwriters these days are bad, or that artists making music these days aren't good songwriters. They're just different and not as, I guess, like when I listen to a Bob Dylan song, his lyrics are just like, his lyrics are transcendent. Like they're so good, they're so poetic, they're so smart. I don't know if anybody could replicate what he did exactly. I mean, you could say maybe like Bruce Springsteen did a little bit, but it's different. He's more of like a storyteller, and I think Bob Dylan's more poetic. And I think there are great songwriters now. I even think people who like, I even think rappers who people talk down upon a lot are actually good songwriters too. Because songwriting is really hard. People don't realize how hard songwriting is, and it's just hard to write a good catchy song a lot of the times that's not boring. You know, it's not hard to write a catchy song that's boring, right? In my opinion, somebody like Taylor Swift, right? She writes a lot of really boring, catchy songs. That's kind of easy to do. But to like write an interesting, catchy song, even like someone like a DaBaby, who probably most people would think, oh, he's not a good songwriter. Well, I don't know if he writes his own songs, but if he did, I actually think he's a good songwriter because his songs, the way he's able to write these super catchy lines, even though they're not like very cerebral like a Bob Dylan song might be, it's still really hard to do that. So I still think someone like DaBaby is a good songwriter, but I don't know if I've heard anybody recently that can like reach the level of poetics that Bob Dylan can. Maybe it'll never be repeated. Who knows? Maybe it will be. Maybe the next great poetic songwriter is already out there and I just don't know about them. That's all possible, you know. As the great what's his name? As the great, why can I could picture him. He's a basketball player. I know him very well. Kevin Garnett says anything is possible. Let's hear what he has to say about this topic.
League MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. Now it's time to add to your resume. NBA.
There's something weird about this distance. Like, I've seen many sports interviews before. There's something weird about the distance and like the way she's angled. Is that just me?
Champion. How does that sound?
That's just a great pause. Like such a dramatic. Like that's something you can't recreate in movies a lot of times. Like that pure. Like that pause was just powerful. Sometimes silence is more powerful than words a lot of the time, right?
So I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. Man, I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Iconic video. Iconic video. Anyways, I don't know why I can never remember Kevin Garnett's name. I know him very well. I watched him all throughout growing up, but whenever I think about him, I can't think of Kevin Garnett. Maybe it's because Kevin Durant's been around for so long now that like when I think Kevin, my brain first goes to Durant, but then my brain's like, no, it's not Durant. I'm like, yeah, I know it's not Durant, but my brain's stuck on Durant and I can't figure out like, is it Durant? Is it not Durant? Kevin Garnett. Anything is possible. Hey, take that into your real life. Anything is possible. I don't want to come across as like some sort of preachy guy. I actually don't really like that kind of stuff where it's like, anything you put your mind to is possible. It's like, to an extent, I don't know. I just think sort of the like tsunami of positive like reinforcement that like people try to push through the internet, it just gets tiresome. It's like, bro, sometimes anything's not possible. Sometimes, you know, I don't feel like putting my mind to certain things. Sometimes I'd rather lay in bed than make anything possible. Sometimes, you know, chasing my passion isn't necessarily always, that's a tangent. I'm not going to go down that tangent. But anyways, I think anything is possible in terms of songwriting for sure. Anybody could be out there that could be as good as Bob Dylan. And maybe people will talk down to me because of the baby comment. But I think about it. Like the baby is actually, and guys in his similar vein are actually really good songwriters. Because, dude, there's a lot of rappers out there. Thousands and thousands of guys trying to make it as a rapper. They're not as good songwriters as DaBaby. Like, there's a reason why DaBaby is as famous as he is. It's not a fluke. It's not a total fluke. Here and there, yeah, there are some artists I feel like that are a fluke, but not many. Most people who are super famous have done something right and are good artists and can write songs and know how to pick the right melodies, the right beats, etc., etc. But I like DaBaby. Sue me. Why don't you sue me? If you don't like that I like DaBaby, sue me. No, don't do that. Suing is quite the... Don't sue me. Anyways, so there's this guy, right, that I saw on, I think it was Instagram, right? Check this guy out. So he's like a parenting influencer, right? So he makes these Instagram reels and these TikToks about parenting. Okay? So just watch this because just watch it. Let's watch it.
In my room, look.
Oh, no, you didn't. Look at this tiny microscopic paper. Look at it.
Hey, Dad, I just vacuumed your room.
No, you didn't. You made the lines like this. I told you they need to go like this.
Okay, I'll redo it.
And when you do that, that creates this. Hey, you want to go on a walk with me?
No, I'll probably do that wrong, too. Hey, Dad,
Now, is that cringy? Of course. These are all really cringy. Like, extremely cringy. But actually, he gives some good advice. Like, watch this one.
No, you were going to tell me.
Tell me what?
We hit the car.
You did what?
Now, a second. They said, we hit the car. Which is like, we hit the car. That means, like, if you're thinking about that, like, grammatically, they ran up and hit the car. That's what that would mean. I think they meant to say, we got in an accident, or somebody hit our car, or we hit another car with our car, right? Instead of we hit the car, but semantics, right?
Dad, we don't even know if they're okay yet. Sit down there. Come here, guys. Sit down. Guys, are y'all okay? Man, Dad, do better. Yeah, what he said.
I mean, he's not wrong, right? Like, obviously, that's a super cringy, kind of hokey way to present things, but he's not wrong. Like, he's giving some good advice.
soccer game today?
I'm pretty busy today.
Oh, okay. Do you want to come to my game today?
I'm pretty busy today.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to come play some Scrabble with me?
No, I'm busy. Bye. Finding him a nursing home.
If you can't find time for your kids now, how do you expect your kids to find time for you later?
Soccer game today?
He's not wrong, is he?
Hey, is it alright if I go to a party tonight?
I don't know. Is there going to be drinking, people getting high, vaping?
Maybe, but people also do those things at school, but it doesn't mean I do.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yes, sir, we talk about those things, and you trust me.
That's true. I mean, I go to restaurants, people drink around me all the time. Doesn't mean I got to partake in it, right?
Right?
Yes, sir.
And I've raised you to make good decisions in the real world. Yeah, you can go.
Thank
Call me
you.
if you need me.
Yes, sir.
Love you.
Hey, is it alright?
That's not bad advice. See, this is my thing. Like, he's got almost 300,000 followers, right? So he's doing something right. Like, is it cringy? Is it corny? Yeah. But, like, maybe that's how you get people's attention now. Now, I don't know. I don't want to applaud corniness. And I don't want to applaud, like, I don't know. He's not doing a bad job. So, I mean, but I just found it interesting that now we've got parent influencers teaching other parents, right? Like, imagine if you were growing up and your parent was a parent influencer. I don't know how I'd feel about that. Like, his kids seem to be pretty into it. Like, they're in his videos, they're acting for him, obviously. So it's like, oh, like, maybe it would be kind of cool. But it's just an interesting thought, like, that there's this new age of, like, not only do we have influence, but we have parenting influencers who are probably influencers for, like, 35 to 45-year-olds. Not that they don't deserve influencers. I'm not being ageist here or anything, you know. But I guess I'm just saying I never foresaw this, and I found it interesting when I was like, wow, this guy is an internet celebrity for teaching parenting, which is probably a good thing. Now, if somebody could do that without being as corny and maybe give a little bit more concrete advice, I'm sure there are plenty of YouTubers out there who are like parenting YouTubers, now that I think about it. Hold on, let me check that out for a second. See if I can find parenting. I mean, I'm sure there's parenting tips on YouTube, obviously. But I wonder if there's... Let's see what we got here. Every parent must watch this. See, my issue is that, like, they all become such clickbait. 10 parenting clips. TED Talks, right? Obviously, there's TED Talks. 10 things So the parenting junkie. So, all right. So we've got this lady, the parenting junkie. Let's see what she's got to offer. Oh, she's recommended by doctors. So, hey now. All right, let's see what her most popular video is. Minimalism and toys. That makes sense to me because, like, toys, like, I know there's a big toy market on YouTube. How to do baby-led weaning. Baby-led weaning. Hey now.
The Parenting Junkie.
Sounds like she's got a metronome in her music.
The Parenting Junkie.
That's a little strange, but...
Hey, welcome back to The Parenting Junkie, the place to go to love parenting and for parenting from love. I'm Vital, and if you like this type of content, you'll want to subscribe to this channel. So if the button is red, go ahead and click it there. That way you'll get a special release periodically. So if you have a young baby and are looking to...
Oh my god, that is the cutest smiling baby I think I've ever seen.
...coming sessions and courses that I release periodically. So if you have a young baby and are looking to introduce solid foods, then you are in the right place. When my first child was tiny, I thought I knew how solids...
So this is better, like, this is, I think, you know, more straightforward advice than that Billy guy, Billy Perry, which I appreciate a little bit more because you don't get caught up in the cringe, you know. Caught up in the cringe. This week on Dateline. Caught up in the cringe. Anyways. But it's certainly not as, I mean, like, is this whole, I mean, you know, the video, it seems like the whole thing is just like this kind of one shot of the baby kind of edited from slightly different angles with her talking in the background, you know. So it's like, his are more interesting, certainly, and probably grab more attention. Now, this has 100,000 views because, you know, she's giving good, concrete advice.
...to introduce to babies. You buy some packaged oatmeal or baby cereal or orange smushy stuff in a jar and attempt to deliver...
And it seems like she's giving very concrete advice while Billy's giving more general advice. I don't know, like, what's the, you know, the debate here is like, do you go for something like this, like, you know?
Hey, do you even eat?
Yeah.
Like a twig. Look at your wrists. How small they are.
Way too skinny.
I wish I had your problems. You need to eat a burger. Maybe 2. Nobody is immune to body shaming. Look, when you say ignorant, hurtful comments
Like, this is good advice.
like that, you have no idea the long-term damage that you could be doing to somebody. Think before you speak. Do better. Hey.
Like, that's good advice. I mean, it's more general advice, right? Rather than like how to wean your baby, stuff like that. But I don't know. Maybe he's got the right approach, and maybe, I mean, she's doing okay for herself. Not that, you know, you have to be, you know, success is not a you know, there's different ways to be successful. You don't have to have the most followers to be the most successful necessarily. But I don't know. I'm interested to see if how other people would feel about this. Like, you know, the internet is full of these clickbaity, cringy guys like him, but he's actually doing something constructive with it. You know what I mean? And she's just being constructive, right? She's giving really good tips. Let's see if her like kind of content has gotten a little better than just like one shot with her talking in the background.
Are you finding yourself in survival mode, feeling like you are running on
Okay, so this is already, you know, technique-wise, cinematography, audio, everything, effects, it's already way better.
empty and worried that you might be leading yourself all the way through to burnout? If so, I have made a video on the 10 signals that you might be in survival mode, so go back and watch that one first, and then come back here because we're going to talk about what we can do, and we're going to get really practical. Hi, I'm Avital. I'm the mother of 5. I'm the founder of
Mother of 5. God, jeez.
Present Play, and today I want to help you just come to terms with some of the things that you can.
All right, so she's got some sort of testimonial type thing here where she's like, I don't know, is this stock footage? Yeah,
Or to
looks
that
like
you
it.
need to rest or to do your work or to clean up or whatever it is, then it's so worth it, right? If you didn't
She could use with, I think here's the thing, like she could use with a little bit upping her game in terms of her content, right? Like instead of just sitting here and using stock photos, and this is a long video too, it's like 20 minutes, which like when I want 10 tips or something like that, or I'm looking for something quick, honestly, when I'm on YouTube, I'll click the one that's a little bit shorter. Like if I'm looking for some sort of like technical problem having my computer or my like video or whatever it might be, I'll be like, oh God, this one explains this in 20 minutes and this guy explains it in 5. I'm going to click the 5-minute video. I know that's bad because like, you know, the whole attention span thing of like, oh, everybody's losing their attention span, which I don't think I am personally, but it's just like if I want to solve a problem and I have an option of solving it in 20 minutes or 5 minutes, like I'm going to pick the 5-minute one. And I often find that like the 5-minute ones are just as good as the 20-minute ones because a lot of the YouTubers are trying to like monetize, right? So they're like just blah, 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 blahing for like 10 of the 20 minutes and they only need like 5 to 10 minutes to actually explain what to do, or if not less. So anyways, I wonder if there's other parenting tips. Let's see if there's any other parenting influence out here that are good. How to Dad. Oh, I've seen this guy before. He's really popular, right? Yeah, he's got 1 million subscribers. Is he a comedy guy or is he actually he's kind of a vlogger, it seems. A dad from New Zealand. A dad from New Zealand. I don't know if that's a New Zealand accent, if that was really bad. He makes videos about being a dad. So this guy might be interesting. She wants me to last. Oh, hey now. That's not about being a dad. That's creepy. Let's see. All right. Dad life is tough. This is like a minute. He's got short videos. I know his most viewed video is like how to talk to babies. Yeah, it's like 15 million views. How to put a baby to sleep. Is this comedy or is this helpful? Let's see.
Yeah, g'day and welcome to this instructional video on how to put a baby to sleep. Do you want to go to sleep? It's never really that easy.
Wow.
So the shush train. Shh, 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 shh.
What is this? Is this staged? Is this baby like he's trained this baby to do that?
Shh, shh, shh. The standard blanket that you renamed Blanky. Works every time.
Is this real? Does this actually work? I feel like I'm being trolled right now. Okay, these people are saying he's acting.
Oh man, must be time for you to go to sleep. Sleep time. Sleepy. Sleepy time. You gonna go to sleep? The tap out. I'll go get your mum. The hypnotist. And sleep. The dad that doesn't know a single lullaby. Twinkle, sleep now.
Okay, these last ones, obviously the baby hasn't been trained to do them, but the fact that even those first ones worked is pretty remarkable, right?
Do you want a piece of me? And sleep. The big awkward dad, giant baby sleepover. I'm coming in. I'm coming in. Lying down. Lying down now. And sleep. The bribe dad.
That's crazy, dude. All right, so obviously this guy doesn't seem to be giving tips, right? So you're not going to learn anything from him, but he's funny. And maybe, I don't know, maybe in some of his videos he does have helpful advice in some way, or you could learn the way he interacts, or maybe they're all just comedy stuff. How to get a baby to clean the house. They seem a lot like comedy stuff. Okay, let's see what he's got here.
Yeah, g'day and welcome to this instructional video on how to get a toddler to eat
This is funny.
vegetables. Now this baby / toddler age is the hardest age to get these little munchkins to eat them. But here are a few tricks. Cover them in sauce or ketchup.
Yuck.
No, not just the sauce. You gotta cover them in cheese. Hey. No, you grab the.
All right, so this guy obviously leans more to just the pure comedy. But maybe somewhere in here there's useful stuff. Maybe, I don't know. But, all right, I'm curious what you guys think. Everybody who's watching this video, the 2 people watching this video, if you prefer cringe dad, put cringe dad. If you prefer concrete tips, even if it's boring, put hallelujah. If you like the comedy approach, just a pure comedy, the standard, funny, non-cringe, but more highbrow comedy, put highbrow in the comments. But I don't know, I just think it's interesting that I found that sort of TikTok parenting influencer. And as Gen Z and millennials grow up more and more, we'll probably just see more people branching out what an influencer can be. Because, right, the standard thought is oh, they go to Coachella and they sell you skinny tea and they have their own clothing line, et cetera, right? But maybe influencers, as we move forward, will be anything that we could think of. I mean, obviously, right? I mean, that's the way the world's moving. But somehow every time I see some new fad in influencing, I get shocked by it. I'm like, wow, I never thought about that before, that you could be a parenting influencer. Maybe I'm slow on this because I'm I'm 28 and I'm old and, maybe you Gen Zs know what's up. But I don't. And I just find it interesting to find the way people think about how do I present myself on the internet, basically, right? It's there is a pretty standard way to present yourself on the internet. And it's mostly done by young people. But as young people become old people and kids become young people, and we're going to see a bunch of new crazy stuff. IMO. That stands for in my opinion, if you were wondering. But anyways, I was also reading a lot about NFTs. Have you guys heard about NFTs, non-fungible tokens? They're basically digital art that you can buy online for cryptocurrency. And essentially you have the original file of that digital art, because like technically you could just go in and screenshot any digital art and now you have it, right? But NFTs, they sell the original file. So you are like the original owner of that digital art. And I know it's like been pretty controversial, but I think it's actually pretty cool. And it could change the art game a lot, because essentially what it does is it registers the purchase on the blockchain, right? Which is like this kind of cloud. I mean, I'm not an expert on it, but it's like this cloud created by cryptos that like basically cements it permanently into the blockchain, and you can't edit it, you can't change it. Obviously, if at some point the blockchain failed or something happened in that, right, then you would lose all that, right? But it makes it so that honestly fraudulent art is less prevalent. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen that documentary called Made You Look. Yeah, the true story about fake art. Let me see. This one. It's on Netflix. It's about how this really reputable gallery in New York City sold like, this is the main gallery head woman who sold like $80 million worth of fake art. And it's really hard in the physical art world. People think that like, oh, you know, this digital stuff, it makes no sense. You don't have a physical copy. But physical copies are not as easily, but physical copies are always faked, right? Like the art world is full of fakes, right? And what the blockchain does is it cements a record that can never be changed, never be edited again, unless the blockchain fails. So when you buy this digital art, it's yours, right? Like it's like this one, right? Like there was this, they say NFTs don't make sense, so that won't stop them. They do make sense. They do make sense. Look, humans have been creating a market out of things that don't make sense forever. Physical art doesn't make sense. The fact that you pay millions of dollars for physical art, I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? You're putting value onto something that is not worth the physical value of it. The value comes from the artists themselves, right? And their reputation and their prestige, et cetera, right? So it's like we've created kind of a self-created market, a self-created credibility, credit to physical art. What's the difference between digital art? Like this thing, like there was some cat gif that like you've probably seen 1,000 times that sold for like 300, like a shit ton of money. Let me see, cat gif. No, it's not car gif. Flying cat gif. This one. Like this gif sold for a bunch of money, right? And it's like, well, I have it right here, but I don't have the original, right? And so just like we put kind of not fake, I don't know what the right word would be, like we create a market for physical art based off of the artist and the originality of the art. We're doing the same thing for the digital market here. Just that, yeah, I could screenshot this, but you don't have, okay, you screenshot it, you have it, but you don't have the value of having the original, right? Because they bought this GIF for however much money. In 20 years, it's going to be worth so much money. It's an amazing investment because they have the original of whatever this GIF was. Let's see. I think there's a site called OpenSeas.io where they sell a lot of this stuff. Like this one is selling. It's $1,000. And people might think, that's crazy. Well, yeah, I mean, it is kind of crazy. But is it crazier than paying a bunch of money for physical art? I don't think so, because in this realm, you're less likely to get messed in with a bunch of fakes and a bunch of frauds. Because the physical art world is full of them. And you can fake a Pollock, you can fake a... I didn't say the F word. You can fake a Rothko like that. It's not that hard. And here with the blockchain and the online crypto world, we can avoid all that. I like this. Like, this was something, like, I would think it would be cool to have this, like, have the original copy of this. Like, why is this less art than, you know, than this? right? I like them both. They're both art. Anyways, I think that this crypto art is cool, and if we could utilize it to create a whole new art market, that would be great. Like, the only thing I've heard that's sort of anti it is that these cryptos take up so much energy to run because they have to have these servers, like thousands and thousands of servers running 24 hours a day, to like keep the crypto market running 24/7, which is like, it takes a lot of energy. Like, it takes as much as like some countries. Like, let me see here. There's a chart that shows, yeah, this one here. There's a chart that shows Bitcoin, just Bitcoin, to run these servers that they have to run 24/7 to keep the market going. It's more energy than Argentina, and like between Norway and Argentina, which is like, that's crazy, dude. That the crypto market takes up that much energy just to run Bitcoin. That's just one coin. You know, there's Ethereum, there's a bunch of other coins too that all take a whole lot of energy to run. So that is a valid criticism that, you know, this new crypto art market takes up too much energy. It's bad for the environment. I agree with that. The only counter I'd say to that is like, we need to fix how we consume energy, right? So like, we need to change our grid to green energy so that this is run by solar and wind rather than fossil fuels and oil, right? But certainly a valid argument to say like, hey, if you're investing in the crypto art market, you know, if you're buying Bastard Gan Punk V2, it's not very good for the environment because that's a lot of Ethereum. They deal in Ethereum in the art world, in the digital art world, because I think it's the fastest coin to process. Like, it moves quickly. Like, if you were to buy it, transfer it to your account, and buy this, it would move quicker than any other coin. But I think the digital art market is cool, and hopefully it'll evolve. And yeah. Oh, you know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about the fact that pop punk is back. Like, you guys remember pop punk, like Avril Lavigne, Blink-182, those type of people. Pop punk is back. It's really interesting. A lot of current artists are emerging as pop artists, and also artists that have been around in different genres, rap or rock or whatever, have merged a little bit into pop punk. Pop punk. Like, like, here's this whole playlist, right? We've got like this new artist, Jaden, who apparently used to be a TikToker, I heard, but now he's got 4 million monthly listeners, and he's all pop punk. Like, that's crazy. I was thinking about like someone like Trippie Redd, who's a rapper, right? He's hugely popular. Here he's got a playlist with his Travis Barker, right here, right on his front of his Spotify page. He's gone to pop punk. Machine Gun Kelly, right? That's his name. I don't know his name. Oh, Mod Sun. Mod Sun's really good. He's a really interesting artist. I think he's actually dating Avril Lavigne, and their song Flames, no pun intended, is fire. Really good song. Also, his song Karma is really good. Just interesting that somehow pop punk has revived itself. Like, who would have thought of it? Like, it seemed very much of its time, like early 2000s. Seemed like that was going to be its reign. Early 2000s, that's forever pop punk. But it's somehow come back. Like, Mod Sun's a good artist to check out. Lil Huddy, I think, is another guy he's only got 2 songs, and he's got 8 million and 2 million. I think he's also a TikToker. But his songs are decent, and he's got millions of plays on them. So you've got these new kids like a Lil Huddy or like a Jaden coming up and establishing like these new artists as pop punk guys. You've got Trippie Redd, Youngblood, who is sort of a rocker, but he's sort of even more recently moved towards more pop punk than just pure rock. This guy, 24 Karat Gold, he's a rapper, but he's doing pop punk stuff. Damn, he's got 35 million monthly listeners. What's his biggest song? It's his pop punk song. I don't know him that well, so maybe I'm just But he's got a couple hits, 200 million, 200 million, 150 million. I mean, this is almost 300 million. Damn. Okay. I swore there was a MGK song in this. Yeah, right here. I think, dude, his numbers are way up. I think his last album, this one, Tickets to My Downfall, sold out deluxe. Maybe that was the loud one. Tickets to My Downfall. I think this is all pop punk. Forget Me Too is a good song. I like that song. Halsey, gotta love Halsey, right? But it's just interesting that pop punk is back because I never would have thought it. And apparently a lot of it's being led by Travis Barker. Not Travis Scott. He's producing a lot of these pop punk songs that are going viral. Like, look at all these. Okay, so this is a Travis Barker and Young Blood song. I think this is a pop punk song. I think most of these are all pop. Like, all these big. I think this is a Trippie Redd album. These, like, purple colored ones. But look at this. All his main songs, I think these are all in the last year, and they're all pop punk. It's pretty crazy. Do I like pop punk? You might ask. Do I like pop punk? Sometimes. I don't think it's necessarily great, like highbrow. Like, it's not. There's a lot of indie rockers that I think make really great music. You know what I mean? And not that pop punkers don't make great music. They just don't make as kind of. Like, if I'm in the mood for pop punk, I'm in the mood for it, and I rock out to it. I've been listening to it a lot lately, but I can get sick of it. And, a lot of the lyrics can be cheesy and cliche and sort of overly teen angsty. But sometimes, especially these new ones with, like, the drums in a lot of these new pop punk songs with, like, the influence of trap and punk together, those drums hit. So my answer is, yeah, I like it. Not all the time, but sometimes it's, if you're in the mood. That's that 24K. When you got me in the mood, send the brand new. That's callback. I get a point for that. Anyways, that's the show for today. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you listening. Stay breezy.